Welcome back to another episode of the Success Times Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Richard Thompson. Today I am joined by Jarrod Lee, electrician turned business owner who's built a team of more than 35 people through grit, discipline, and an obsession with growth. From growing up in a small country town to buying a business during COVID and navigating the pressure of leadership, fatherhood, and ambition, Jarrod shares the mindset that's helped him keep pushing through all that uncertainty. All right, let's get into it. Jarrod Lee, thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Yeah. Hey, how you going?
First podcast ever for you, sir.
Yeah.
So I appreciate coming on. You've got I think a way more broad business acumen and business brain than you probably give yourself credit for, which is the reason why I'm really keen to have a chat, just to shoot the breeze and see if there's any sort of gold nuggets that I can take away that the listeners can take away. For background though, kid from up north. Talk to me about your childhood, where you grew up, how it felt, and how you got into being a Sparky.
Yeah, so just small town, Proserpine, up north there. People probably know it as Airlie Beach more than Prosy. But yeah, I've got three brothers, mum and dad. They're all cane farmers. They run a family business. Got the most close-knit family ever. Like they all still work together, run farms together. Yeah, I was a little bit black sheepy. I sort of kind of didn't go down the Boilermake. They got a Boilermaking business as well. They all jumped in and done that, my three other brothers. I chose to go after doing an electrical apprenticeship. And then I wanted to make it in soccer, so I moved to Townsville, tried to go semi-pro on that. Done a knee. And then I kind of realised like the actual talent that was out there. And I was sort of like, do I want this? Do I want to put in the effort required? And I sort of was like, not really. So yeah, sort of had a bit of a midlife crisis and come down here to Sunny Coast, live with two mates in a swag. And yeah, that was about 23, and then I just love it here.
Midlife crisis at 23.
Yeah. So I love it here. Hey, just started working as electrician again. I already had my trade before I moved down. Just got a couple electrical jobs and then went out to the mines for a few years. Like most of the young guys, we sort of employ apprentices do that. They go out and they want to chase the money. I'm all for it. Go get yourself set up, spend 2-3 years, just be disciplined with it. Basically come back and I love planting seeds. I planted a seed in my old boss's head and I said, hey, like if you're ever looking at selling, like I actually like the business and I would be interested in buying it. So when COVID happened, lost my job, came back, they said, do you want to buy the business? And literally Jarrod at 28, Jarrod now, two completely different people. Like had no real business mind, didn't care for it, and now I'm just obsessed. So yeah. And then what was that? Basically the year of COVID, I think, is when I bought the business.
You bought Bailey and Dalton.
Yeah, Bailey and Dalton Electrical. So yeah, there was me and three guys, I think it was.
So you got three people that came with that company.
Yeah, there was I think three, and then the old boss stayed around for about a year helping out. So
and now how many people work for you as a group, total group?
There's about, I think, 35 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's between the two businesses now. Bailey and Dalton itself, we think it's about 22, something like that.
Yeah, because you recently purchased another company.
No, I love it.
What draws you to it?
It's just like permanent growth. I can't picture myself not doing it now. It's sort of like every day is a challenge. My partner would ask me why you do it. Like, seems like, there's always something going wrong, but I kind of have like grown this, like I just enjoy problems. And I know now that without problems, I am a shell of myself. So I was like, what was it? February last year. So I have a manager. And he sort of come to me and said, hey mate, I want to run your business. Like I want to take the reins and do it. And I was like, sweet. And he's like, you can maybe go down the business development, start looking into like actually working. You always hear people say work in or on the business. So I finally got that chance to work on the business. But like walked around for probably a month and a half, like, what am I doing? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I got all my validation from solving problems and getting work done. Now
doing
I have
the hard stuff.
Yeah. Now I have to like go into like this creative thing, like, updating the logo and the brand and getting signs, sign writing done and website stuff and ads. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not that way inclined, but that's why I love it. It's always something new to be done. I think as a man too, it's really good. Like it tests you a lot, like the leadership side, how you deal with interacting with all different types of people and trying to do it under stress. Been awesome. I like it.
In my experience, it's sort of, it is like you're on this extreme path of self-discovery and
100%.
and self-development and growth. And it's like you almost couldn't recognize yourself 2 years ago because of what you had to go through.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the general population don't see how, I guess it's almost like a paradox, because it is so hard.
Definitely.
Daily, weekly, monthly. They're hard. It's hard. And yet that sustains us. That challenge, that difficulty is what puts the blood through our system.
Well, it's like if you said to me, hey, after work, you have dinner and then you can jump back on your computer and you're going to keep working till 12 at night. And as an employee, I'd be like, never. Like, but now I have this like itch to go and do it. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what people do, but the younger generation probably can relate to, video games, right? Like you get home from school or work or whatever, and you're like, quick, get my dinner done and I'm going to get down and play video. I like have that urge to do that. Get an email from you the other night. It's like 11 o'clock and I'm like, oh man, he's up. He's still working, and you probably don't even, I don't know how you think about it, but you're probably like, you genuinely are like, don't feel like a chore that you're up doing it.
No.
And you sort of build this resilience to.
Conversely,
to
I think you get to the point of, well, at least for me with the family, is to be able to be, when you don't choose that normal path of, I'm just going to open up the laptop and go to work and get to work. If you choose not to do that, and whether that's just not work that night or go to bed early, I struggle with the guilt of that.
Oh, that is honestly the biggest. What I got, 18-month-old and a 7-week-old now.
Yeah.
But
you're a young dad of 2 young kids.
That has been my biggest,
right.
biggest problem. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily a problem, but trade-off, let's say that. I don't want to be one of these guys. You see all these interviews that they go around, they're interviewing like 80-year-old people and they're like, oh, I wish I spent more time with my family. I got all this money. They all say it. And I know that's the truth. But I have this like pull that like the kids go to sleep at lunch. I'm like, quick, run down to the computer. I can get in an hour of doing this spreadsheets, spreadsheets, like boring. But for me, I love it. So that trade-off there and just being present is the bit that
okay.
It's the presency around family is the one that.
So how do you balance that? Because you've got this natural desire to be present with the business and do because it's an infinite to-do list, right?
100%.
And like you said before, like if that to-do list finished, you'd be aimless. You'd be like, what do I do now?
Oh, it gives you you go somewhere else. Like, okay, this problem solved. I now like look for another problem.
Yeah.
And that is so like I said, my manager sort of took over running the business. I go into sort of what's next. By the end of the year, I bought another business. So I'm like, I know that is me now. I know that's who I am.
Yep.
And I think that has really helped me come to terms with it.
And I think that's okay.
Yeah.
That's the piece as well, right? To go, it's okay. It's not solving it to go, all right, it's not even a question, and I can't speak for you, but it's not a question of I'll be happy when.
Yeah.
It's I just want more problems to solve.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy solving the problems.
Yeah.
And I've said it in the past in the other episodes, it's like climbing a mountain, and people climb it to get to the view. We climb it would appear, just because we like climbing.
Yeah.
And the worst thing and the view's great, sure, but the worst thing they can do for us is get to the top of the mountain, you see the view, and there's no other mountains to climb.
Yeah.
That's the worst case scenario.
And 100%.
You just want to have the view of the next mountain.
Now you're walking down the mountain and you're like, oh, now what?
Yeah.
When we're, if you can sort of be that type of person, if you can understand that's who you are, you sort of like can always like be looking of what's next. You can plan your goals out a little further so you can sort of be like, oh, I'm walking down this mountain because I'm walking over to that one to start over there now.
For another big client.
Yeah. And it doesn't always have to be business related, mind you. And like I say this to my partner, I'm like, I mentioned it like, I don't think I mentioned it prior to the podcasting, but I talk about this thing called a trilemma, and that's like you got your business or career, family, and then like your health and fitness, right? And at the moment, business is my thing, but hopefully once, I can create a little bit of financial freedom, and my goal is not, I want to be a billionaire. My goal was actually, if I die, I want to have created something that'll pay for my family to continue to live the rest of their life. Legacy. So that means I go into it with a completely different mindset too. I've got a lot of friends that make a lot more money than me, way more money, with a lot smaller businesses. But I understand that everything I do takes away from that goal. So I don't have a very expensive life. I drive a crappy car. We live in an average house. We are very happy and content.
One thing that I adore you for is that you have the ability to pay yourself more, and you choose not to.
Yeah,
you as the owner of a company that has 35 or 40 staff, you'd probably be the least paid person because you put everything back into the company for its own growth.
Yeah, and like it's just
so the income creep or the lifestyle creep doesn't hit you.
No, it's just like every time I take away, I'm removing it from compound growth. Like if I took, let's say I could take an extra 80 grand a year and I did it, like that could be another employee or another van or another wage that I could put in that can then continue. Like if I replicate that process for the next 10 years, that's $800,000 worth of wages that I could now have employed that are now bringing in I don't know, depending on what margins you have, but bringing in more profit for the business, which I end up getting anyway at the end of it all. And the truth is, if you keep it in the actual asset itself, you can probably get out of the asset more tax effectively than taking the higher pay rate when you're younger or, year to year through wages. So that's how my mindset works.
Was there a penny drop moment for you to get to that point? Because as a POYG or as an employee position, it would be more salary, the better, thank you. But to be able to go, actually, I've got control now as the owner of a company and decide I'm going to keep that in the company and potentially invest it into a new employee or otherwise, or plant and equipment, and to be able to go, that will in turn turn me a greater sum, compound, on a compound effect.
Well, when I started, the first year or two, I was like, wow, this is actually quite good. But there's this weird thing in business where who cares what the P&L says? It's like, where is my money? Like, where is the cash? And when you're growing, you find that a lot of the money is getting funneled back into either new vehicles, new infrastructure, new tools, new equipment, new employees, new training. Like it's always, and this is who I am, like I'm always paying it out because I'm like kind of building this wave, right? That when I stop, the wave's massive and then I can ride it at the end. But yeah, that's how I sort of, I see that.
That's right. But talk to me about then the lonely chapter, because you're effectively an island here. You're on an island at this process, and your lovely partner, you talk about, she might say, why do you do this? Why do you lean into the problem solving or the hard stuff all the time? And I don't think that I think from a fellow business owner, I see it, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I think we connect. But I think that's pretty true with all business owners, especially like ones that endure it. That's not just a 5% ownership of a bigger company. How do you feel about the lonely chapter?
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of self-discipline. You have to have a lot of self-assurance to do it, because generally it kind of means you're probably going to be isolated a little bit. And I actually think for me, if I look back to the steps of life that allowed me to make the big changes, it was doing my ACL, playing soccer in Townsville, and then having kind of reset my life, moved here. And then it was COVID. It literally broke the golden handcuffs, kicked me out. I got, lost my job. And then I come back and did this. So sometimes I'm not this almighty, disciplined, mentally strong person. It's taken actual things to happen that I couldn't control that led me to the next thing. So I didn't actually use it as a negative. It was sort of like, oh, well, what's next?
In this period of time where you've grown with the company, have you had to have a reckoning with your own habits and your own way of thinking? We talk about how this is a path of self-development. What's been your biggest limiting factor, do you think, that you've had to change?
Oh, definitely how I'm sort of a person, I'm not a perfectionist, but I like things to be a particular way and right. And the way I communicate, I feel like I've always been sort of sports team, and it's very like I've been three brothers, so it's always very direct, and shout out to the office ladies, Belle and Danielle. But I've had to take them out for a coffee and sort of apologize for like the way I communicated at times. And the biggest helper for me personally is my partner at home. Like sitting down and talking with her about this stuff has been the most amazing thing. She just helps me through like how I should word things, taking a deep breath. And yeah, that has been the biggest helper. But yeah, just understanding that my communication style, it's very direct, very, you do those personality profiles and I'm sort of that type of personality. So I have to be very conscious when especially when things aren't going right and you're a little bit heightened, just take a breath. And that's been my biggest one, I would say. So yeah.
How do you go about self-belief in where you're going in a otherwise uncertain world and develop, I guess, put away the distractions? And the world is obviously now every year is designed more and more to distract us and be consumers and not creators. But how do you pump your own tires up in terms of where you're headed and making sure that and your self-belief that that's going to eventuate?
Yeah, so I do this thing a lot where I say, maybe I'm delusional. It's like a way I start sentences when I talk to people a lot of the time. And I call them my delusional beliefs. And one of them is I just don't know how you can put in that much effort or as much effort as I do and it not work. Like I said, maybe delusion, maybe I'm doing it all wrong and I'm working hard for no reason. But that's my mindset around like just keep doing it. You cannot go to gym every day all year and not improve. Like it's like impossible.
Yeah.
So that's how I see, that's one delusional belief that I have. And the other one, and you might want to cut this part out, but around the things like depression, anxiety, and like ruminating and that stuff, people can believe what they want. I don't mind. But me personally, when I'm feeling down and not good, and like the first 6 months of this financial year was my worst 6 months I've ever had. Like lost a lot of money. I'm so glad it happened though. But like I could have chosen to be and let those thoughts take over and like really cripple me. But I'm just like, now what? Like I'm feeling bad. Like, now what do? Do I sit in it? And I'm like, we have to move forward is I guess what I'm saying. Like if I choose to not believe it, and it may be true, it definitely, probably scientifically, all that, it is true, right? But there are people that believe in religions and things like that, and to their core, they believe it, and if it creates them to be a happier person and not let particular things affect them, I think that is the greatest belief that you could ever have.
That's faith.
Yeah, faith.
In whatever it is, right?
But call it faith then.
Well, yeah, faith in something which is scientifically or not a constant or not accepted or not proven. So there is a future faith in you, within you. Cool, you say delusional, but there is a faith in something. Yeah, that you have.
Yeah, and I call it blind faith, call it whatever, but I choose to believe that.
You believe in yourself, you believe in your work ethic, that if you put that down, things will improve.
Yeah, that's like I said, it may be delusional, but it's something I choose to believe in, and I So far, so good. It's served me all right so far. You know, I don't know if you've heard the analogy of like there's two guys in a house and the door slams. One believes in a ghost and the other one doesn't. You know, the one that believes in a ghost is scared as and wigging out because of their belief system that they have set. The other person's like, oh, must be the wind, and continues to sleep. Like, I guess they're, once again, going back to the trade-offs thing, it could have been a bad guy sneaking in the house, right? And that served that person right. But I don't know. That's how I see mindset, and that's my mindset personally. So,
hey team, just popping in to say thanks for listening. If you're enjoying the episode, please take a second to like or follow the show and share it with a friend. It's the best way to help us grow and keep bringing you more great content. All right, let's get back into it. Where does the ingredient of challenge come into it though? Like, no matter whether in that environment in your first 6 months of this financial year being your hardest, it's hard. But it's hard no matter what, isn't it?
yeah.
Like, no matter what scenario you are asking for.
Well, it's, funny you say that, but it's kind of like when we were growing real hard, it's sort of like, we're going really quick. It's like, where's the cash gone? You know, we're trying to scramble for extending accounts and doing these things so we can, but it was because we're growing really quick. So it's painful. We're like, we need more staff. We need to grow. We need another van. So it's like, it's so stressful. But then the start of this year, we were going backwards. So that was also stressful.
Backwards on top line, you mean?
Well, backwards on net profit.
Yeah.
Like severely. Bottom line. So I'm like, okay, that was painful. And then, like I said, when my manager came in and took over the role and I sort of like stepped away and I was kind of content and not really progressing, and I was sort of like, I'm not happy here either.
That's
so
painful.
I'm like, I may as well choose the thing that I will progress forward with and endure that pain.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And it's interesting as well, like you've touched on it a few times, like COVID, like, last 6 months, the first 6 months of the financial year, things that you are thankful for now.
Mm.
And it's like when you're in it, it's painful. It's really painful. But you can choose to lean into it and fall forward with it and to go so that, and you keep playing, I guess, as well, right? So you can choose not to play or get out of the game and then you lose.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or you continue to play, you continue to show up with your work ethic and you work through it to the point where you become thankful that it occurred.
Yeah.
That's the win.
Just keep swinging. Like Warren Buffett says, you get infinite pitches. Just keep swinging. Like you miss 100 times, you're not a failure. You've just tried 100 times. And that's like a big one I want to transfer to the family realm is my kids to be like that. It's like, I tried again today, Dad, and I didn't win. And it's like, good work. How'd you go? Did you do better? Are you improving? Like that's the main thing. Are we improving? Are we learning? Are we getting better? Who cares the amount of attempts? Just keep swinging. And eventually, if you keep practicing and trying hard enough, something will hit. The other thing I always say too is like, it takes me 4 years to do an electrical apprenticeship so I can go and do my own work. A lot of people I shouldn't say a lot of people, I don't know that many, but my own personal belief is like you jump into business and I'm like, oh yeah, I should be making good money. And I've been doing this for 5 years now. And it's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
How do you expect that? What can you do for 5 years, whether it's studying to become a lawyer, an accountant, an electrician, that you're like a fully competent business owner or electrician? Like it takes time.
Yeah.
Like
way longer than you think.
Yeah. And business isn't just like I'm just doing electrical work. It's like never ending. It's like infinite amount of things. So that's it's kind of one of those back into the belief system type thing. It's something I tell myself that like maybe I'm not as far ahead as the people I see on social medias or whatever. But hey, the grass isn't always greener. You know, Hormozy talks about the woman in the red dress. And that's a huge one that I remember in my first 2-3 years, I'd always be like, oh, maybe I should try and get into this, or maybe I should do that, or and I'm just like, I've now built this team that like, let's think about it. If you build a company, and this has nothing to do with my numbers, let's just say it's $100 million revenue business. You make 1% tweak in that business to costs. You know, it could be a 0.25% tweak on 4 things, and you now make another $1 million profit. When here we are trying to make $1 million on something brand new, it doesn't make sense. And yeah, like shout out to my boy Hormozy, but he really helped me with that one. Like just resetting my just stay focused on the path.
But underlying that, women in the red dress and limiting the distractions, it is because it is that cycle that he talks about, and it's the uninformed optimism initially to go, great, you've bought a company, and the initial, like any enterprise or any anything you go into that you're a bit clueless on, the ability to the period of time that you're starting to understand how this works it's a big step, and you're just learning and learning and learning, and then you're excited about that, and you can make changes and all the things, and then it gets hard.
Yeah,
and then that's the piece where you go, that's the informed pessimism, and it's like, oh, I now know, or I'm starting to understand, this isn't a 2-year project.
Yeah,
this is going to take years and years, 10 to 20 years to really create this into an incredible business. And so it's that point in time where you go, you're looking for the next thing that gets you back to uninformed optimism is alluring, because you're like, what happens if I started a dry cleaning company? And you're like, that'll be cool, because you're stuck in that, this is actually a grind. This is going to take a bit of time to get through.
And just imagine if we did that with your law degree. It's like, oh, this university is so hard, I'm going to go and study to be an engineer now. And then it's
I think that, like a degree or an apprenticeship, that's
you can see an end goal.
Exactly.
That is
a finite game, as Simon Sinek talks. And whereas business is an infinite game, you just have to stay in it. But where I think that's the business side cuts, because you think about any other infinite game, and I think parenting, I think marriage or relationship, and the objective of all these games is to stay in the game.
And you think about there's everything, right? Is you like sometimes I go to gym and you all do this, like these class gyms, right? And you're all doing the same thing, and there's someone there that doesn't even have a sweat at the end of it. If we did a workout together and competed, keep me out of it. So there's 2 people. Someone doesn't have a sweat and someone does. At the end, if you said, all right, now you both got to actually compete in this workout, the one that is sweating and almost out of breath and dying would dominate the other person if they actually did the event and tried. And I think there's this level of effort that can be put into things, and it's everything can be hard if you put in the effort enough. So business can be easy if I chose to say, let's just stay here and let my manager run it. I'll just come in every day and help him. But my mentality is I want to continue to push it. Family, it can be hard. I mean, easy if you just, you sort of.
That gets back to the definition of easy, though, right? So what is easy?
Well, in a workout, you choose to just lift 1 kilo weights for your bicep curls, and then you do the knee push-ups.
But is that facilitating the result you're wanting, though?
Yeah, but that's I think, I don't know where this is sort of gone now, but this is part of the reason why I have this belief. I just push. You just got to push hard in whatever you do. Put in the actual effort, regardless of if you can only do 13 push-ups, just do them properly. And if you get to 10, cool. Who cares? But as long as you know, and this is not my saying. Everything I sort of talk about is not really my own beliefs. It's kind of like accumulation of everything. I call myself a regurgitator, really, because I listen to podcasts.
We're all regurgitators,
exactly. But it's but I'll know. My partner will say, hey, you've done really good today at this workout. And I go, no, I didn't. And she's like, it's a compliment, take it. I'm like, no, but I know that I didn't do. You're a world champion. Your expectation of what a good ultra is, if I even just completed one and someone gave me a compliment, I would be happy. I'd be like, thank you. I'm proud of myself. If you did it at my pace, you would be, and I said, great work. You would say,
Yeah.
Not really.
It
Like,
comes down to knowing your potential and knowing your effort.
And just like, you do have times where you just coast a bit, and it's like you can't just be on all the time. But I think the closer we work to our limits or our potential, most of the time is, I think, the most beneficial way we can live our lives, in my opinion anyway. Like, and that's what I try and do. I know I don't feel it today, but I'm there for an hour. Just go hard. Just do what you can.
Yeah.
I know that
100% of your ability to give 70%, because that's your limit today, is still you giving 100%.
100%. And this is what I say, like, I know at some point I'm going to be a soccer coach for my kids or something like that. And I've always had this thing. It's like, no one is going to be equal in the team, but we all can equally put in our own 100%.
Yeah.
That's all I ask from anyone, whether it's in my business, my team when I got one, and my kids playing soccer. That is like, really, it's just life
and importantly,
and effort.
If everyone looks to improve 1% every week, then the compound effect of the group is significant, irrespective of, that's just 1% of Bob and Cheryl and Tim, if everyone increases by 1% or strives to increase that, then the overall impact of the group is so substantial. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we've probably spoken a fair bit about like just putting in effort and just trying hard. But I honestly, like, I think for our kids coming up, that is what is going to define them from everyone else. In this day and age, it is so easy to not try and just go through life.
Where do you get with, in terms of like, the persisting is the effort. When do you, in your own mind, in your own experience, when do you pivot? When do you go, all right, this effort, I'm just throwing my head against a brick wall here. You got a great work ethic, obviously, but when do you need to redirect that? What needs to come into your sphere to go, this direction is no longer serving?
When the effort stops making change, I think. When the effort stopped making a positive change, I should say. It's okay, we are doing the same thing now for 2 months on end. The time frame in which you should try is probably where I don't know. But
it's dependent on everything.
But I would say it's like, when you continue to do the same thing and you're like, okay, there is no change now, we need to now make a pivot. And that's about as simple as I could put it.
Go back to the parenting and the balance. How do you then, what's your toolkit? Because I think everyone listening who has kids or families generally, we all suffer from that, right? To be able to go, we'd all love to be present in everything that we do, but that's hard.
Yeah.
How do you go about that?
For me, I want to put in as much effort as I can. Like back to the, like, money doesn't sort of mean a whole lot thing, like not going up a million, but I want to try and make enough money and work that I can leave, my partner doesn't have to work. So at least I can give my kids a full-time mother.
Parent.
And people may disagree, and I fully get that. Some women want to go back to work and work. But me and my partner, our communication, and that is one thing we spoke about when we got together, we were like, I want my wife or partner or mother, my children, to be at home and be with the kids, because you can never get them years back. And obviously I could do a lot less and be there a lot more as well. So that's sort of one thing I'd give them. We've tried to do to, like, give our kids as much rather than just sending them off to daycare every day.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously that's a privilege we have. So I'm not saying anything about other people. For me though, trying to be present, and I'm kind of lucky because I started the business journey a little bit earlier, and I've got my manager in place, and the business is kind of self-sustaining. So, I can be a lot more present than probably.
It's a double-edged sword though, because
others.
You have the option then. It's not as if, I almost think that I'd rather the place be on fire, because then I'd have, it meant like internally, I can say, I can't be here.
Now it's a conscious decision.
Now it's a decision on you to go, I'm choosing for the spreadsheet over and above
100%.
Spending time with my kids.
I know.
Which is, it's a challenge.
This is that internal battle, right? This is like, me and my partner chat about this on the couch the other day, and literally, laid it out. I'm like, this is how I genuinely feel. I'm like, I have this urge for this, but I know they need me. So we just sort of communication once again. We communicate between each other on what we deem to be quality for what we can give. So because of, like I said, I've sort of created this a little bit more freedom in my life with the way my business operates. I can go and do swimmings on Mondays. So I take off my 2 hours or 2.5 hours on that day, and I take my daughter to swimming, and we all go together as a family. So, that's something that I can do. But I also understand that, like, if I want what I want, there has to be the trade-off.
Yeah.
But yeah, back into like that thing about sort of, and my partner stays home. Like we always, like, this is more of a team family, like the dynamic situation with like what we can give our kids. My partner is like the most empathetic, compassionate woman ever. And I'm the driven, like, I sort of, let's just make it happen, toughen up type person, right? And we always have, like, we find that in the middle is sort of, or on the extreme, is where we generally disagree. But in reality, when, like, theoretically my partner would love me to be a lot more compassionate and empathetic, and I'd love her to harden up and whatever. But when we actually talk to each other and go, what do we most love about each other? It is actually those things on the ends. It's, I love that you're so compassionate. I love my kids get that from you. I love that I can come home after work and spill it out to you, and she listens, and she doesn't just go, harden up, mate. And then she does a bit just to rub in what I do. But then at the same time, my trait is sort of like that. She knows things like I can get things done, and I'll just make it happen. So that's the yin and yang dynamic. I think is we always try and find someone exactly like us, and I think that the differences is what makes the team so strong. And I'm glad that my kids get to have a bit of both in their upbringing, and we don't want to take that away from each other.
And thank you for sharing that, because I think with long-term relationships, there's this idea that potentially you just mold, or you lose those extremes as you sort of soften to a middle ground of grey where everyone's sort of the same. But
yeah,
I think we need to celebrate the extremes and what drew you to each other in the first place, and what the traits that you have that allows you to, in your instance, for your traits to do what you do on a corporate level, and her traits to be an incredibly compassionate mum and partner. Yeah. That those traits need to be celebrated.
Yeah. Like it's kind of funny. Like I talk like this, but like I really am. I don't have much to sort of. Yeah, I see the podcasts you do have, and I listen to lots of them, and everyone comes in with their big list of credentials and the massive companies they built or world champion athletes, things like that. I'm none of that, but I'm like, I hope in 10 years, well, I shouldn't say hope, I know in 10 years that I can come back and hopefully be in the same seat, and we can talk about and have it because of these things that I'm trying to actively implement at the moment. And I know that sounds like I'm a broken record with this sort of stuff, but I just genuinely believe it so much that if you just can delay the gratification and just do your best at everything you can do, like things just have to happen for you, right? And yeah, that's what I genuinely believe.
Well, let's earmark 5 years.
Yeah.
Let's get you back in a year and see how you're going. Because I reckon the time continuum is a little bit. You're not backing yourself hard enough anyway.
Yeah, I probably should have. I don't just mean, this isn't just about me. I kind of mean it as in like a mindset as like a whole. Like I say I too much. I know I do, but I try and talk to people about this. Like a lot of my mates are getting to their early 30s, starting to become dads and mums, and I'm like, they have this like, oh, I want to do this thing, and I'm like, just go and have a go. Like, please just do it. Like, what could possibly go wrong? And it sort of self-sabotages myself a lot because I have a business and I have these guys that have these, and I'm like, just do it. Just go on. So I've got 4 employees now that have left me to start their own businesses. And like, I'm stoked for them. It is so good. I'm like, call me if you need help. Call me if you want to chat. Like, I'm here. Like, so yeah, I just want people to just put in the effort and just do it. It's not about me and like I'm trying to be the almighty. Like, I don't think that at all. I just want to try and like push that message onto people and be like, just go. Just, if you don't, you'll look back and you'll be in one of those interviews in the future, the guy walking down the street and go, what do you regret? And like, I wish I just started that thing just to do it. And if you actually think of the worst case, you call me back up and you say, hey mate, my electrical company didn't go that well. Can I come get a job again? I say every day of the week. When do you want to start? That's the downside.
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Before you go, quick five, what does success mean to you?
But like I said earlier, for me, success is having a business that will pay for my family to live if I am not here.
What does happiness mean?
The best definition I've heard and I like is knowing that you're working towards tomorrow being better than today.
I like that.
That's what I reckon is
I like
just
that.
knowing tomorrow is going to be better.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to the world? Potentially what you just talked about.
Yeah, definitely that. It's just like, if
you're
going to do things, like, don't just do it. Like, put in the effort and do it. Like, if you're going to be there, just put in the effort.
What does your morning routine look like?
Oh, it's changed about 10 times in the last, but we got a newborn now. So basically I get up, get the kids out of bed, feed them, play with them, do whatever. And then my partner will go to gym. She comes back, hand them off, and off I go to work. So
what time are you rising?
Yeah, 6 o'clock, get up, get them up.
What time are you going to work?
And then it's about 8:30 at the moment. It's about when my partner gets back from gym. So we have to share that, our own physical fitness. So she gets hers in the morning and I'll go in the afternoon. Yeah, okay. That's very good for our mental health, that part.
Yeah. And someone you think would be a good guest to come on the show?
I'm going to say Brett Evans. He's a guy I met at gym. I got talking to him. He's just like a very quiet sort of guy. He is so humble, and he's been a guy that I actively often catch up with and speak through these things with. And he's a guy that I think you should get on. Right. He has a lot of cool, he's got a lot of cool stories. Yeah. So
cool. Jarrod Lee.
I got a question for you, but.
Oh yeah. All right.
This isn't mine, by the way. This is off another podcast list too. But if you were an actor a character in a movie, who do you see yourself as? If you do know, there'll probably be a scene that you're like, that's the scene too.
I know you say that. Like I go to this when I'm in, like if I'm in ice baths or otherwise, and I'm trying to control my nervous system. I'm Neo in the Matrix, and in that moment of the scene, I actually even think it's in the scene of building. So when he's in the dojo, against Morpheus, learning his skill, learning his potential whilst he's in this new world.
Yeah.
You?
Mine is the Joker from Batman, and it's the actual scene is, and it has the big pile of money, and there's all like the bad guy, the villains,
right? And
then he walks around the gasoline and lights the pile of money on fire.
Okay.
And it's just like, for me, resembles like the game. Like I just love playing the game. I want to be good at the game. But I don't care about the necessary, like the thing that comes from it. Yeah. I just
want the game.
I just want to prove to people, I guess, and myself that I can do it. But
who's the people you want to prove it to?
I don't know, really. That's my scene. I just love that. He's just like, everyone's like, yeah, the money, and he just lights it up.
All about the game.
Yeah.
That was another episode of the Success Times Happiness podcast. Next time you're staying up until midnight working, turn to the person next to you and tell them all about the show. It really means a lot. A huge thank you to Jarrod for sharing his honest perspective on business, leadership, family, and the mindset required to keep showing up when things get hard. If today's conversation inspired you, please subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with someone who needs to hear it. It really means a lot. Until next time, peace.